Ready?
Go, Ari.
Okay, so this tutorial shows how to select images and content on Miro, transform them into frames, subsequently put them on essentially to the same PDF, export them, and then combine PDFs into separate things. Let's take Dana's omissions as an example. Okay, so we would just go ahead and click and drag, make sure we're getting all the images that she carefully put in there. And then I would click and drag over to here, holding Alt Option. Make sure you hold Alt Option. If you don't hold Alt Option, you are not going to duplicate them, and you're just going to move them all over here, and I'm going to find a bunch of things over here, and it's going to make the board messy. Okay, so now we have Dana's stuff. We can clearly see that there's some artifact frames that we can no longer detect that were present in the former frame we took that from that we could only see when there was a dark background. We got rid of those, but we now have these individually very well placed objects here. What I do to make sure I'm selecting both of these is I would click and drag over top of the whole thing, and I would group each one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and do that individually. Grouping, grouping, grouping. We may have to make a link to this video because it may be long enough. You guys will be able to fast forward me for the first time. So enjoyable. So now we have all this content that's grouped. But when we click here, we see we can't export it per se. We can only export it as Excel, right? So what we would want to do instead is we want to click each one of them and create frames. So that's what we're going to do across all of these. Is we're going to create a frame. That's going to allow us to export the page of the PDF. The frame. Think about each frame as its own individual page. Okay. Is this useful for people? You guys getting something out of this?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're going to create the frame. Create the frame. Now that we all have all these frames put together, we can export this. What I was saying when I presented this last time is try to duplicate a frame and give us a sense of what it was that you've already done here. Okay, so when you do this, you can give us a little lead off. What was the actual experiment? Okay, you can use the text for this. This could be project 1, omissions. Try to spell things right when you're doing the video tutorial, and then you can give us the project overview, right? In this case, it was to omit one of 4 things as we from each base glaze while we keep the color in, and then you could do the project takeaways, right? This could be your rough conclusions and suspicions from what it was that you saw over the course of this. Okay, you don't have to get totally granular, but give yourself something to come back to after this. Okay, now go ahead. Once you have all that done, you can select all of these frames, right? And you can go to the 3 dots. You can go to share and export, and you can go to export as PDF. Okay, I suggest making a vector PDF. You could also do something that's like medium quality images should probably be just fine, and it'll be a smaller file size. Oops. Need to do that. We'll go ahead and we'll just show the biggest one so far. Right, we'll go ahead and share and export as PDF, and we'll choose vector. That's going to be the largest one. It's going to be the most resolute. You don't need that for this. In fact, I asked that your PDFs are 5 megabytes or before. This may take several minutes. Fast forward this part of the video, and it's finally ready. Okay, so if I download this file, it'll ask me what I want to name it. We'll call this RA test for process book, and we'll put that in the downloads folder. Okay, now that we're in the downloads folder, did that download?
It's the
Yeah.
second one.
It's, yeah. That was the
Oh
second
yeah,
one.
RE test. Okay, so now we have this. Let's say we wanted to combine this with another PDF, right? We can control click, or you can shift click if you want to do multiple. Right click on this, and this is a Mac Finder thing, although I'm sure there's the same thing on Windows. You can come down to create PDF. This will create a new object that you then file that you then have to save. This could be combined RE test PDF. Once you do that, you can open this with the by right clicking and opening it with the default readily available stuff that you get, right? You can see my title pages here. Misplaced, I can click and drag and start to move that around and place this as I want towards the top of the document and then eventually above page 1. That way it is saved in the right position, and I think that's the end of our tutorial video.
Yeah.